Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Backwoods Banter podcast presented by Low Key Country. I'm your host, Zach from Zach and Country, along with Celine from Country with Celine. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Zach?
I'm doing pretty good. Today, we have a very special duo guest from Nashville. We have Reckless Bound. How are you ladies doing?
Great. Yeah.
Great.
Having a
Sweet.
good time.
We're very glad to have you guys on. We'll just go ahead and jump right into it. For people that aren't familiar with you guys, how did this come about? Obviously, you guys are a duo. Like Celine and I'm from Indiana, Celine's from Canada. Same for you guys. How did this come together and form this?
So we actually met at a bar downtown on Broadway. I had just gotten done playing a show and she was setting up and they didn't book anybody to play with her. So she asked if I would, and I said no. And because I was like, my family's in town, I got stuff to do. And then I was like, you know what? I want the money, whatever. Like, I'll do another show.
Yeah.
And
I probably looked like I was almost crying, and
yeah,
it was fine.
But yeah, it was like the most fun I'd had on stage since I moved here. And one too many tequila shots were probably involved. And that night she asked me to start a band. And I was like, sure, I'm not doing anything.
That's amazing. Right? That's how it started. Well,
yeah.
Of course, Nashville. Of course, Broadway. Where else?
And tequila. Don't forget the tequila.
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of become our thing now.
Yeah.
So
how about the name? Sorry, Zach, but how about the name Reckless Bound?
So we were going out one night to see a couple of our friends play, and Sid was like, I'm down to get a little reckless tonight. And I was like, that's a great idea right there. Let's switch that around. So it ended up working out, and it worked really well for the brand that we want to create and all that stuff. So yeah.
I love that.
It took a while to get there. We went through a lot of names.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. And we mentioned earlier, like right at the beginning, Indiana. So I'll start with you, Sydney. You came from Indiana, moved down to Nashville. What was like I know personally the differences between Indiana, which is known for its corn, and then you got Nashville with all the music and a lot more people. What was like the hardest thing for you when you first transitioned to living down there?
Honestly, I've just being able to go out by yourself, and I moved here and I knew two people and they have two kids, so they weren't going out and doing a lot. So yeah, it's mostly just like being able to go out without your friends and kind of meet people and try and curate new friendships and all that. And yeah, it was very nerve-wracking, but I was like, well, I can either sit alone in my apartment with my dog or go to a bar, and there's alcohol at a bar. So
of course, the bar. We go to the bar.
It's a big incentive.
How about you, Emma? Because as a Ontario girl over here, represent Ontario.
Yeah.
Wait, where exactly in Ontario are you from?
I'm from Stratford.
Oh, Beavertown. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It's funny. I was just driving through like over there, and I wanted to stop off so bad because I've never gone to the steps. But I feel like it's such an iconic place to go, right? Like, you have to. But okay, so I have lots of friends that are in the country music scene, obviously here in Ontario, and you made the jump. Honestly, not many people make the jump from Ontario to Nashville because it's quite hard, like with the visa and all that fun stuff. It's a pain in the butt, to say the least. What would you say, how is the music scene different from Nashville and Ontario? Because like here, the way country music is promoted, I feel like it's more under the radar, obviously, than in Nashville. Would you say the same thing?
Yeah, I mean, so Nashville in a sense is a lot, I don't want to say easier because that seems like almost like a cop-out, but it's just more accessible. Like
more opportunities.
Stratford has maybe one bar playing live music every other Friday. Like we have a lot of really talented people. Ontario in general has a lot of really talented people and great country music, but the professionalism maybe isn't the right word, but the accessibility and just like the amount of people to talk to and network with and learn from is just unmatched here. So that's kind of where I wanted to be.
Yeah, I feel like Nashville is the hub. Well, it is the hub for people who want to pursue a career in country music. Like, you got to go to Nashville. But like, what sort of advice would you give to someone? Because like I was saying, it's difficult, but like, how did you maneuver your way down from Ontario to Nashville? Like, how was the process for you?
Honestly, for me, it was kind of simple. I had already had a previous music teacher that lives down here, and he was able to kind of guide me through getting a visa, which is a very scary process because, dealing with like US immigrations as well as Canadian immigrations, it's not exactly the easiest thing. And you think you have to go for all these interviews and it's going to cost a lot of money, which it does. There's no interviews involved, which is very nice. But so I'm on a yearly visa, which is a entertainment visa. So it helps me. I can work on Broadway. I can work for cash. I can do those things that help me with my career, and I can do my original music on the side. It was fairly easy. It was scary. Don't get me wrong. Moving countries is never, something that was on my to-do list for the year of 2020. But I don't know. It just kind of fell in place for me. And like anybody that does want to do it, it's a lot easier than it seems, and it's not as scary as it seems until you do it. So
yeah. Well, no, it's good to know. I mean, I feel like lots of people in the industry who are like contemplating that leap would like to hear some reassurance. And so thank you, Emma, for sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then Emma, you mentioned you guys play on Broadway. I know you guys play at like Old Red, Redneck Riviera, Dirk Bentley, Whiskey Row, all those places. What are some of the differences? Because you guys also travel, play on the road. What are like similarities, differences, and positives and negatives of each? Like how does your show, I don't know, differ when you guys are on the road versus playing at a bar at Nashville?
They're definitely two different styles. Like we just we're in Lake of the Ozarks, and we did an original show, which is very different than what we do on Broadway. It's curated different. It's a lot shorter, which is nice.
I was gonna say that it's about an hour and a half max.
Yeah.
So
but that's kind of the biggest thing is like figuring out, like, because you can entertain somebody for an hour and a half a lot easier than entertaining people for 4 hours. And it's keeping that stamina and that energy up for 4 hours that like is a weird art that you have to learn on Broadway. And like learning how to adapt to a crowd if they're not going for your normal jokes or anything like that. And, yeah, that for me is the biggest thing.
I think for me, like learning how to be everybody's friend kind of helps me on Broadway, like being like, where are you from? Okay, cool. What brought you down to Nashville? Which I know seem just like the typical questions that you get on Nashville. But for me, like I genuinely am curious. Like if it's somebody's birthday, I want to sing happy birthday. And for me, that's really nice about Broadway because it taught me how to interact with the crowd and just like be more confident around people, which is really nice.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a side of Broadway a lot of people don't like either pay attention to or like notice. So for me, that's my biggest perk on Broadway.
Yeah.
It teaches you how to be a lot personable. Like going to bars on Nashville, like artists, well, if they see someone in the crowd, they just pinpoint them out. And it's so funny, like either the person loves it or the person like absolutely hates it because they don't like that center of attention. But what would you say was like the wildest, because it's Nashville and there's so many drunk bachelorette parties, bachelor parties. There's a bunch of stuff that are going on. People's first time in Nashville, their 20th time. What would you say is the most memorable moment that you guys have had playing on Broadway? Just out of curiosity.
I got one. It's kind of like almost an after moment, but we were playing Old Red, an acoustic trio, a few months ago, and it was this little girl's birthday. So we sang happy birthday to her, PG version. There's a Nashville way. We didn't do that.
Whoa. There's a Nashville way.
I didn't know that either.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Just come to Nashville for your birthday. We'll take care of it. Don't worry.
Okay, noted.
It's nothing bad, truly. But obviously, it would be weird for a kid. Anyways, so we found out later, and the whole bar sang happy birthday. It was great. She was up on the mezzanine. It was fantastic. But then about 2 days later, her mom emailed us on our band account and was like, you don't know this, but she's a triplet. She never gets to celebrate her birthday, just herself. We were there for a softball tournament. She loved you guys. You literally made her 13th birthday like the most memorable birthday she'll have. So that was probably the most like non-drunk related, non-weird related. But
it's a good heartfelt moment.
Yeah. Right. Well, and then you have our resident homeless man.
Oh yeah, that was another.
Give
do
her.
you want one or two stories?
Give
I'll take
us
two.
them all.
Yeah,
give us
give
them
it to
all.
We were playing at Johnny Cash's like a year and a half ago, and it was dark outside, so it was like in the winter. And there's this man that likes to sit in the trash can outside, and he collected all his little signs and he put them in a package. Didn't know this. And he goes, he knocks on the door and he asks the security guard to hand me this package. And I was like, he said you'll know what it is. And I was like, I'm not opening that package.
I was like, I don't know what it is. I don't.
Not opening it. So he opens it and it's all these little signs like, I'm whatever, need money for whatever it is. And I don't know why he gave them to me.
We were really special to
I don't, just that day seemed.
I think someone had a crush on you.
Just that day, apparently.
Might be it, yeah.
Yeah, Nashville's a very interesting place when it comes to stuff like that. You see a lot, especially on like the outskirts of Broadway, like literally just the streets over. It's like, what is going on? Like, am I like, but it's weird. Nashville's always a fun time. Like, can't go wrong with it.
Oh, absolutely not. Yeah.
Seems like a different world at times. Now, obviously playing Nashville, you guys will play cover songs if you're playing a 4-hour set for sure. So for each of you, what are your favorite songs to cover? And like another part of that too is growing up, like who were your early influences did family help you too? Or was it somebody you really enjoyed listening to growing up?
Yeah. I love to play like acoustic. My favorite song to play is You're So Vain. And I really like playing There's Your Trouble by the Chicks. And I don't know. I definitely like my family. I call them professional karaokeers. They're really good in a karaoke bar. And they're always singing in the car, and that was always kind of a big part of my life. It's just them just constantly singing, not for anyone, just kind of just having a good time, which was always nice. And and then I just got really into Carrie Underwood for a minute. Really loved Grace Potter. I know, right? Like Grace Potter was my idol for like women playing like electric guitars, and I was like, "You're cool. I want to be you."
Yeah. So I grew up on country music, like strictly 90s, Toby Keith, mainly, and Shania Twain. My Lord and
yes.
So Shania was my first concert when I was like 4 or 5. She played at the JLC, now the Budweiser stage in London, Ontario. Dating myself, but she played that show and I remember just being floored. We had nosebleed seats. I thought I was getting an autograph. Did not happen. But she's the reason I wanted to write music. She's the reason I wanted to play music. My parents have always been supportive. My dad plays guitar. My dad's always sang. Same with my dad's family. They always sing. And they're super supportive. They have given me everything. They definitely were like, go to school, maybe get a degree, do all the fun things, but then you can do whatever you want. Yeah. So I started playing guitar when I was 8. They bought me my guitar that I still use every day. My Martin is like my pride and joy. It's my baby. Love that thing. So they're great. If they could have driven down with me to move me, they would have, but unfortunately it was COVID, so I was the only one able to go. But yeah, Shania Twain's my biggest influence, still is to this day. So
you can't go wrong with Shania. I mean, who doesn't like Shania? Like, you're crazy. Like, what? Yeah. And like, to the people who don't know Shania, it's like, whoa, what? Like, I don't care if you listen to just rap, you should still know Shania Twain.
At least you should at least know Man, I Feel Like a Woman.
Oh yes.
Like the intro to that is iconic. How can you, if you hear that, does it not make you want to move? Like, does it not click like who this artist is, like what the song is?
Yeah.
Oh my God. No, Shania is awesome. I just want to ask another question here too. So you guys have played throughout the States, and like Emma, you're from Ontario. Do you guys come up here to play any shows, or no, just strictly like in like down there?
We've played like 1 or 2 gigs kind of in Stratford, but I really want to kind of expand to a little bit more of the Canadian side of things, just because obviously like I can go see my family, I can do fun things. I love Canada, I love Ontario. I'd love to play in Muskoka at the Key.
Yeah.
So I'd really like to get up there eventually. I'd love to play Boots and Hearts, but
that new Boots thing.
We'll see the emerging artist at Boots and Hearts next year. Probably not.
Crossed.
Yeah.
Putting it out there into the world.
This is manifesting. Yeah. But I would really like to. We've gotten on some Canadian like country radio, but we haven't really like expanded to doing shows up there yet.
Yeah, I'm sure it will happen. And emerging artists, yeah, you have to. Have you guys applied to that before or no?
I have years ago, like when they first started the competition. But I want to get like a good, social media following and everything like that. All of that stuff helps. So
you know what? You're not wrong. It does help. I feel like this is so like left field here, but lots of it's becoming very like political in the sense where like you need that sort of following in order to kind of get more known and get like, it's interesting the way they do it. I'm not gonna rip it apart here, but Boots and Hearts is always a good time. But yeah, you should definitely like when you guys feel like you're ready enough, apply for the Emerging Artist Showcase because you get a song after with I think it's Warner. So like that's a pretty like that's an amazing experience. And you've only ever heard good things about it anyway. So but yeah, you should totally that's gonna be fun. When you guys come up to Ontario, please let me know. I will come and watch a show.
Yeah. Absolutely. I would love to.
Definitely.
I would love to get Toronto again. They got great country bars.
That's what Selena always says.
Hold up. No, they don't. What are you talking about?
What?
Okay.
Country bars.
No.
I loved Rocking Horse.
Rocking Horse is, oh my God. Okay, that's the only one.
I was also like freshly 19 when I lived in Toronto, so that could be
fair.
See, one great one can make up for it, I guess.
It had a lot of stairs though. That was a downfall, literally. So
but okay, it doesn't. Nashville is worse. The stairs on Broadway, I think it's to go to oh my God, Tootsie's. I think it's Tootsie's the stage. Like there's just so many.
Stage.
Is that I remember walking down those stairs. Blackout drunk, don't know how I even got from the top to the bottom, but I did it. Yeah. But like the people who do like I don't know, it's insane.
Yeah, it's definitely a workout. It's not for the faint of heart. It's like a weekend in Nashville. It's like doing the stair stepper every day.
You are not wrong. Sure. Yeah. Sorry, this conversation just took like a turn. But we'll bring it back in. We'll bring it back in. Zach, take it away.
No, well, we'll turn it right to the music. So releasing the own music, you guys had That Kind of Guy came out earlier this summer. Have a couple songs now. I'm sure there's more on the way. What are you guys kind of looking at releasing in the future? Is there any projects coming? Any new singles? Because we're certainly looking forward to it. I'm sure the people listening to will be as well. So anything you guys can fill us in on at all?
Yeah, so we're planning to release our debut EP. It's gonna be called Let's Get Wrecked.
Beautiful.
Let's Get Wrecked. So we have 2 songs that are still in our bank to release. So the first one will be on the 22nd.
Yes.
Unless we decide to sneakily drop the EP. We're not sure yet. Yeah. But and we've had a lot of really cool people work on all of this with us, and a lot of great producers and a lot of great mix engineers and all the fun things. We've got one sentimental song coming out, which I'm really excited about. It's my favorite song on the EP. And then Let's Get Wrecked is just a hodgepodge of
it's cool.
Everything.
It's very party.
So
how about a collab? Do you guys see like a collab in the future with any artist?
I would love that.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Who would you love to do one with? If you anybody dream collab?
Dream
collab. Shania Twain.
I knew that was coming. I knew as soon as I said dream, I knew it was
Did I drop enough context in a second?
I wonder.
Not at all.
What about you?
That's a good one. I gotta be like, I'm a sucker. I think it would be really weird if we just did a random like if we did a Green Day collab and then just threw it out of left field, and just.
Why am I not surprised you said Green
Day? I know, right? It is my go-to pleasure.
Yeah,
that would be so sick. Like that would be really cool. A country with Green Day, like hello.
I thought you were gonna say Nickelback for a hot minute there.
Nickelback is top tier. Like I swear.
Well, they do have Brantley Gilbert opening.
I know, right?
Now,
they're kind of like.
They just had a huge show in Nashville where tons of people. I think Bailey Zimmerman was there. It's crazy. Yeah. They had so many country artists at that show.
There was a ton of people.
Yeah.
Jason Aldean.
I'm just glad the Nickelback slander is done. Why people started hating on them, I have no idea. So
it's another great Canadian band.
Exactly. They just hate us. They
don't want you to be great.
They're just jealous. We got Nickelback and they don't. That's why. I'm kidding. I love Americans. I'm just joking around with you guys. Like I love Americans. I swear. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so we let's get wrecked. So new music September 22nd. Could be a single, could be Let's Get Wrecked. We're looking forward to regardless. Celine, anything else from you before we let him go?
No, I'm excited. I'm excited to hear, and I want you guys to come back over the border, please. Or when I come down there, I will come and watch a show. Like I would love to do that. I'll message you guys. This has become more of a conversation than an interview, but I am all for that.
We love the convos. Convos flow.
Yeah, I could talk for the next 3 hours. Right? So you got to cut me off sometime.
No, we don't want to. Honestly, we'd rather you talk than you not talk because that's not fun. That's not fun. Yeah.
Right. Well, if nothing else from us, we appreciate you guys coming on September 22nd. New music, Reckless Bound, wherever you stream music. Make sure you go stream it. Thank you, ladies. Look forward to hearing it.
Yeah. Thank you for having us.